Hey, this is Brett Miller, and I'm at the Wealth Conference in Marco Island, Florida. And pretty much all of my viewers probably know Robert Kiyosaki, and he's a very famous name. A name and a face that you maybe don't know is Mike Maloney. He is Robert Kiyosaki's precious metals advisor. And you've been working with Robert for how long?
Since 2005, we started making stage appearances in 2006.
Okay. How did that relationship come into being?
I just showed up to all of his conferences and live appearances, and I was the only guy that showed up with charts.
Okay.
He just was interested in some of the things that I had to say, and then he goes, you should write a book. And so he really is the one that pushed me down this road, and I'm so grateful to him that he did this. So I started writing the book. He told me to do that on Halloween of 2005. I started the next day. And it was over 2 years of actual research and writing, and it took 2.5 years to get it out. It's actually the best-selling precious metals book on the market.
Awesome. Robert Kiyosaki absolutely changed my life. It was a paradigm shift when I read his book for the first time. I was stuck in the employee mindset, and he opened my eyes to this whole, that I can be who I want to be. I can choose to be rich or poor or middle class. It's just a matter of what I do with what I have. So that, completely opened my eyes. So I owe a lot to Robert Kiyosaki. What's it been like working with him?
Well, I'll tell you what happened with me, because I owe everything to Robert Kiyosaki also. He's an incredibly generous man, generous with his power. He shares a lot with people and empowers people a lot. His company mission is to raise the level of financial literacy of humanity. He's trying to help the entire world. And he's done that a lot. I mean, he's the person that is, if you tried to find out who's responsible for creating more millionaires on this planet than anybody else, he is the person that is singly most responsible for creating more millionaires than any other person on the planet. The original book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is the best-selling financial book in history. I inherited the responsibility of investing for my family's estate back in 1999. And we hired a financial planner, and he lost about 50% of it over the next year and a half or so. And I fired him, moved everything to cash, and started studying the markets, and that led me into the economy, and that led me into the global economy. Global economy led me into the people that are most concerned about the capital flows and budget deficits and trade imbalances are the people that are hard money advocates, the precious metals sector, and they also write about monetary history. And that is when I just absolutely fell in love. However, by 1992, 2002, I determined that the bull market in stocks and real estate was overweight, and those were going into a bear market, and a brand new bull market for commodities and precious metals had begun. And so I started buying gold at about $300 an ounce and silver at about $4 an ounce. And I've been buying ever since. And in 2003, I started selling gold and silver on the side. And in 2004, I started speaking. And in 2005, I incorporated Gold and Silver Incorporated and started goldsilver.com. It became an official precious metals dealer and made it my life, my full-time work. So I had already wrapped my entire life around this, but I still had this mentality that there was this enormous tragedy coming at us sometime in the future, this colossal economic disaster. And I had the sort of more of a bunker mentality. I wasn't expanding, I was contracting. And I was going to these Robert Kiyosaki events, and that's when he just, there's this one event where he just changed my life and spun me around and showed me that, because of my studies, I had predicted the future and had foreknowledge of what was coming. he told me this before it happened. I mean, it's happening now. Everything that I had been talking about and predicting is happening right this minute. And that he showed me that this is the greatest opportunity in the history of mankind. And that's when I went, whoa! It is. I mean, it's the most exciting time to be alive. This is the greatest wealth transfer in history that is happening right now. And therefore, it's the greatest opportunity in history. The volatility, when things are static, when they're not going anywhere, there's no opportunity. It's when things are highly volatile and when there's these huge wealth transfers that are going on that the opportunity exists. So anybody that doesn't get educated right now, that's the main thing. Find out what's going on. If you don't get educated right now, you're going to miss this. And, I talk about the greatest opportunity in history. If you read my book, there are these rare moments in history that go by in a blink of an eye, where gold and silver, and I talk about this stuff all the time, but I'm excited about it.
We're excited to hear about it.
They've been the safe haven asset for 5,000 years. They're the place you run to protect your wealth. They are wealth insurance. They're not normally an investment. But there are these rare moments that, like I say, they go by in the blink of an eye, where gold and silver are revaluing themselves, and it's the will of the public and the free markets. When there's a problem with the currency, when prices are rising or falling too fast, there's something wrong in the economy, they rush back toward gold and silver for the stability and the safety, and to know that they've got an asset where the value of that asset is equivalent to the value of something they're buying, instead of like a paper dollar, where the actual paper dollar or $100 bill, for instance, is worth about 1.4 cents if you're creating it, if you're the Federal Reserve. But if you're actually looking at the value, they've already rooted it because they put ink on it. You can't write a list on it. You can't use it for anything other than burning it. So its true value lies in the amount of BTUs you can get out of it by burning it. It's the intrinsic value. Where gold and silver, the blood, sweat, and tears that it takes to create it, the rarity gives it an intrinsic value where it can never go to zero. And there are these moments in history where gold and silver, the will of the public, the free markets, gold and silver do this automatic accounting. There's so much gold and silver in our society, and then they keep on printing currency, and the will of the public bid up the price of gold and silver as they come rushing back to it, and it accounts for all this fiat currency that's been created. Fiat means by government decree, so it's a currency that's given value just because the government says it has value.
This is the first time in history that all currencies worldwide are fiat currency.
Yeah, this has never happened. So this is the biggest one that has ever happened. But this has happened in certain times and places hundreds of times around the planet. Gold and silver have done this automatic accounting. To study this and see it, I've seen other economists and other people write about it, and they say, well, Rome debased their currency and it led to this inflationary episode and stuff like that. Well, debasing a currency, what's debasing a currency? It means you print extra units of currency, or if you're minting coins, you add a lesser base metal, something that's really cheap and abundant like copper, to your precious metals, gold and silver. So you can take in 1,000 coins of taxes, melt down those coins, mix in 50% copper, and now you can spend 2,000 coins. I've never heard anybody else but me call that deficit spending, and that's what it is. They did it in Athens in 407 BC. It's one of the factors that brought down the Roman Empire.